Thank you very much, Raj, and good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. My name's Chris Lawlor. I'm from the General Medical Council. Welcome to the Virtual Health Careers Conference, and a big thank you to Raj for putting all the hard work and effort into arranging this, and for inviting me along to present on behalf of the General Medical Council. I'm going to share my screen shortly and just run through a few quick slides talking about my role at the GMC and the GMC's role in general, really, as an introduction to a lot of the aspiring medical students who may or may not know too much about the General Medical Council and our role, and also to any of the doctors on the call, giving you a quick update on the role of the GMC. So hopefully everyone can see the slides that I am sharing now. So as I say, my name is Chris Lawlor. I'm a Regional Liaison Advisor at the General Medical Council. So I'm part of the outreach team at the GMC. And basically my role is to go around and meet with medical students and doctors on a regular basis. So prior to the pandemic and the lockdown, 3 or 4 days a week, I would be visiting medical schools, trusts around the Northwest region, and meeting face to face with students and doctors of all levels to talk about the work of the GMC, to promote the standards that we have in place, but more importantly, to receive feedback from students and doctors who are working on the front line. So being that human touch of the GMC, somebody who people can approach and can talk to on a one-to-one basis if needed. So I'm just going to run through the very high-level roles of the GMC, some of which I will go into more detail throughout the day in the sessions that I am delivering, and I hope a number of you will be joining me for those. But first and foremost, and the most important for today's conference, I think, is the GMC's role in education training. And it's probably the least well-known area of the General Medical Council's work. So we set the standards for medical schools. So any of you who are already at medical school or are hoping to go to medical school in future, the GMC at that very early stage are already involved in your training and education by setting the standards that all medical schools have to achieve in their delivery of medical education. And then once you complete medical school, if you then go on to a career as a doctor, you enter the foundation program. We then set the standards for all postgraduate medical education and training. So any doctor who enters a training role, the GMC sets the standards that you can expect to receive in terms of your training and education for as long as you're in that role. So it's a really important aspect of the GMC's work, and something that hopefully a number of you at the conference today will be impacted by in the coming years if you are not already. The next part of the GMC's role is also holding the register. So we hold the register for any doctor who wants to work in the UK, has to apply to join the medical register, whether that be doctors who have qualified in the UK or whether that be doctors who have qualified overseas, all have to go through the process of joining the medical register. At the moment, there are about 300,000 doctors on the register. That number's increasing all the time, although it is likely to slow down following the pandemic and the lockdown for 4 months. But we hope that numbers will continue to increase as the world hopefully goes back to some form of normality in the future. In terms of those 300,000 doctors, there are about 260,000 doctors who have a license to practice, and that license to practice really means that those doctors can be working in the UK and can be treating patients at any time. And the license to practice links into revalidation. Now, revalidation is something that will affect every doctor's career. Any doctor on the register has to go through the process of revalidation to keep their license to practice, and that's something that a doctor has to do every 5 years, and that's a way of ensuring that all doctors who are on the register have the relevant skills and are keeping those skills and experiences up to date in order to ensure that they are treating patients safely. That then links into fitness to practice, which is unfortunately the most high profile area of the GMC's work. The most well-known area of the work that we do is fitness to practice, and that is really complaints about doctors, complaints that we receive from the general public, from patients, from employers. Basically, anybody who wants to raise an issue about a doctor is free to write to the GMC and complain to us. Now, we receive a high number of complaints, about 7,500 on average per year, but of those 7,500, around 500 of those lead to some form of sanction being imposed on a doctor's registration. So the proportion of complaints that actually lead to action being taken are quite low, and we run lots of sessions with doctors of all different experiences, talking about the fitness to practice process, trying to improve the profession's understanding of the process, but also seeking feedback on how we can improve that process and make it work better for doctors who may be involved in it. And then finally, the last piece of the jigsaw are the standards that we produce, and the standards underpin all the work of the GMC. And really, that's what my role is at the GMC, is to go out and talk about all of the different standards that we produce and that we expect doctors to be aware of and to follow at all times. And a number of the sessions I'm running today will be looking at introducing aspiring doctors and medical students to some of those pieces of standards and guidance, and then the final session of the afternoon looking at social media and the guidance that we have in place for doctors who are already registered and are working in the UK at the moment. So this slide just illustrates the role that the GMC will play throughout a doctor's career. So from the first day that you choose to enter medical school to the final day that you retire from medical practice, the GMC will be involved at all stages of a doctor's career. As I've said, we set the standards and outcomes and we inspect medical schools. So from the moment you enter the medical school, you should be aware of the General Medical Council and the role that we will be playing in your education and training. And that continues on for the rest of your career as you enter the foundation program. We have approved that foundation program curricula, and we continue to work and monitor that. And then again, as you move into GP practice or specialist training, we've approved that curricula and program, and we continue to quality assure the education that is being received. And then once you've completed your training, we then move into revalidation and are rolling monitoring the ongoing assurance of competence, and then moving into fitness to practice. So at all stages of a doctor's career, the GMC should be involved, and you should be aware of our role in that. Now, these are just a selection of the standards that are available and that GMC produce. So you can see right in the middle of the screen, we have good medical practice. So that is the piece of guidance that underpins all of the other areas of our standards and guidance. So for any doctor, good medical practice is the starting point for GMC guidance, and being aware of that is extremely important. When any doctor joins the medical register, they tick a box which says they have read and understand good medical practice. So we expect that all doctors have some level of knowledge of GMP. We then have a range of other standards and guidance to support doctors throughout their career, and you can see at the top of the slide some of the more detailed booklets focusing on consent and confidentiality, guidance in terms of assisting doctors in raising and acting on concerns. And then at the bottom, we've started more recently to produce what we call supplementary or supportive guidance. So that's where issues are starting to arise. We're receiving questions from the profession, and we feel that we need to produce guidance to support doctors in other ways. So they're much more targeted at specific areas. For example, the one on the right hand side of the screen looks at doctors' use of social media. We've got some guidance there focusing on intimate examinations and chaperones. So goes into very specific detail about certain areas that we've received queries about previously. So this is just a small selection. There's a lot more available on the website, and on a regular basis I will be out promoting these standards and guidance documents. And as I said earlier, through my sessions today, we'll be touching on a lot of these. So if you are interested, do come and join some of the sessions. And then my final slide is just touching on something that I will be focusing on today as well. So I'm running a session later this afternoon for overseas doctors, and that links into something that we've been running now for about 2.5, 3 years at the GMC. We run a program called Welcome to UK Practice. So this program is for doctors who have gained their medical qualification overseas and then want to come and join the register in the UK and work as a doctor in the UK. So it's a free half-day workshop that is available for all doctors, and it's really focusing on the role of the GMC and a very brief introduction to all of the ethical guidance and standards that are available. So it's a really good opportunity for doctors who are new to the UK to meet as a group and to network and to just learn about some of the different challenges that they may face when starting work in the UK. So I'll be running a very brief session going into a bit more detail about Welcome to UK Practice later this afternoon. Interested, please do come along, and hopefully you'll find that useful, and we'll maybe prompt you to log on and join one of these sessions in the future. I think my 10 minutes is up now, so I'll leave it there as a very brief intro to the role of the General Medical Council as the regulator of doctors. My contact details are here. I'm around all day, so I've got a booth. If you want to come and ask me questions about the role of the GMC, feel free to drop in and talk to me on an individual basis, or I'm running 4 sessions throughout the day, so please do come and drop into those sessions, and hopefully no matter what stage of your career you are at, you will find those sessions of use. Thank you very much for your time, and look forward to seeing you all at some point later today.